Alright guys, Scrappy again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Dashy has revealed his frustrations at many of the recent decisions on the CDL side, not just from the league themselves on the prize pool, which is certainly not as strong this year as it has been in recent years, but also on the developers with the way they've changed some of these maps. OpTic do not seem so happy about the 6-star changes, and Prit even wants Invasion potentially back into the map pool. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, would you rather Game Edition, Black Ops 4 Dashy, Modern Warfare 2 Scrappy, Vanguard Cell, Start 1, Bench 1, Cut 1. This is pretty challenging to be fair. Vanguard Cell, Modern Warfare 2 Scrap, Black Ops 4 Dashy were all immense, but I'm thinking in terms of impact. I also think these questions depend to some extent on what you actually need on your roster. Do you have a main AR on your team who's going to lock down lanes? Like, let's say we're playing Black Ops 4, do you have like Octane? If you do, then great, you don't need Cellium on that team theoretically. But let's say you're building a team that needs a main AR to play a main AR role, then I think you're getting Cell. And I know technically he was like the flex in Vanguard, Cadascities was the main, but if you actually watch the gameplay, that wasn't really what you saw, I don't think. So to me, Vanguard Cell plays a bit of a different role to both Black Ops 4 Dashy and MW2 Scrap. Those two are more similar just because both aggressive ARs, and MW2 Scrap was fantastic, but you know, he wasn't absolutely unequivocally the best player in the world, which Dashy was for some time in Black Ops 4. So I feel like if I'm building a team in terms of pure impact, I might be taking Black Ops 4 Dashy here, to be fair. MW2 Scrappy, gotta consider him like a phenomenal AR, but yeah, I don't know. I might be starting Dashy. Difficult to say on Cell, actually, because I actually think there's probably games he's been better at than Vanguard, to be honest. So I think even if you take, you know, maybe Cold War Cell, then I think it might be a different discussion. There was also this debate that Ronnie put out as well. What are you going to do between Clayster, Slasher, and Octane? What's the plan here? Now, I thought that, honestly, looking at some of the replies here and some of the, I think there was a poll. Yeah, here we go, from Jake Maverick. Who are you starting? Octane, Clay, or Slasher? Like, I was very surprised at the, you know, the lack of votes from Slasher, to be fair. It depends on, you know, we're talking Prime versus Prime here. And Prime, each of these players are very similar to me across the board. It depends what you need from your team and what type of main AR you want, and possibly also like what game we're talking, right? Because, you know, World War II, I'm taking Slasher for sure. Black Ops 4, I'm probably taking Octane, and in the recent couple of games, I'm probably taking Octane. Further back in the past, like Advanced Warfare, I'm taking Clay. So maybe it depends on the type of game and factors like this. But yeah, I thought it was interesting from JCap, just because Cap, obviously, he knows Slasher very well. They won the World Championship together. They do have some beef, probably still to this day, because of what's happened on Los Angeles Thieves when Slasher was dropped. And, well, he blames JCap for it, and he's not so happy. But as JCap says, crazy disrespect in Austin's name in these replies. And JCap says, yeah, he would start Austin, saying that in his opinion, Slasher is the man to start. At worst was a top 5 player, Black Ops 3 through Black Ops 4, even though he could be a dickhead, which is pretty funny. Super consistent. Octane really became the full package once he learned to comment Vanguard, which is probably a fair point, right? That Octane was a phenomenal player, but you know, in his final couple of years, that's when he was really at his absolute best, and then he retired. So, you know, it is what it is. And then his thoughts are, yeah, thanks for the ring in Advanced Warfare, brother, but he had less games as an elite player than those two, which is an interesting analysis. So, yeah, you can look at this a number of different ways. Very difficult to analyze any type of these discussions. Speaking of the Los Angeles Thieves, franchise card for these guys, and I thought it was notable how many players they have had that have kind of been and gone, right? Because we've got Ghosty, we've got Crep, we've got JoeDeceives, we've got Nastie. That's their current roster. But look at all the players they've had over the last few years. I mean, of course, Envoy, Kenny, Drazah, and Octane, they're now gone. Temp was there, Slasher was there, TJ was there way back in the Cold War days. And then we have Hoku joins mid of that Cold War season. Cammy, of course, Afro's here. And then Venom, right? A player that goes under the radar. I'm not really sure what happened to Venom. It's a sad story, really, because when Venom was on this team, I thought he was a very promising player back in Cold War. The team wasn't very good, but I thought Venom showed some promise, you know, seemed like a great kid, you know, treated him really well. And then since then, you know, went back to challenges and never really saw him again, right? So, you know, just one of those names that may well get lost to time. But 5 finals appearances with the franchise, 3 tournament wins, average placing of only 6th, to be fair, over 21 pro tournaments. But yeah, they're in a rebuilding phase. And as I mentioned yesterday, they probably need to keep Ghosty around next season if they want to continue continue that in a good direction. Ghosty, of course, the man that Kenny replaced on that OpTic Texas team. And there's been lots of talk from OpTic over the last few days on some of their frustrations with the state of the game. Totally on the maps, and we'll get into the maps as well, but also on the league itself and the amount of money potentially, which is not on the line, that arguably could or should be.
What if, like, what if we had a plan, bro?
Well, what are the cash matches? Go back. Do we ever have those?
No, they're not this year.
They deleted them shits.
They did?
Come on, bro.
The League Ninja deleted those, and they also Ninja fucking deleted the fucking prize pool a little bit.
I actually didn't know.
40K.
They've been ninjaing everything.
Ninja added more matches. Like, motherfuckers are just
Ninja.
You're not announcing that, bro.
He said ninja.
Ninja.
We go to 500K, or actually, yeah. Go to the 6-star changes. Yeah, mid.
Mid.
Fucking
Tomatoes.
Throwing
tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good change. I feel like I really like the map.
You like it?
Yeah, bro. I think number 4.
Wait, do I speak for everyone when I say like, yo, this shit should not have changed?
The only thing that should have changed was the pool.
Who asked for it to change?
Bro, the pool was
I'm not gonna lie. The pool.
I fucking love the pool.
It was a different element.
I love the pool.
But like generally, like everyone hated the pool hill, which is whatever. But the rest of the map,
no, I actually think that like, I mean, from what I know, I don't think teams minded it as much as like we thought.
At first, everyone just thought it was troll, and then it's just stuck. It's
and
the
then
first
like,
impression.
and then they're like, oh, you could like go in the water.
But why change the whole map?
Nah, dude, number 5, that might be the most fucking trolliest hill of
Bro,
all
that
time.
was a good hill. That statue hill.
They're like, now you can't see through them, but yeah, you can't see through them now.
The doors?
You wallbang him?
You cannot wallbang.
But like, who the fuck is in charge?
What's number 2?
Bro, why is there no hill in like an entire lane almost? Like this entire statue.
I think statue might be the best hill in the game for as a hill.
Right.
And it's not even a hill. Like, what is number 2?
Wait, is P5 in the office?
Yeah.
Oh hell, bro, we are.
They shouldn't stand at the
bait.
doors. Everyone's gonna stand at the doors.
Bro, get the studios out of Cali.
We're gonna be dolphin
bro.
diving through the doors.
Telling you.
Banging nades through the window.
Motherfuckers are just off the za. Bro, what?
Nah, this map is fucking
This
atrocious.
is criminal.
We might have to bring back Invasion.
Invasion? Nah, hold on.
This map's still like, I fuck with this map though. So like,
Bro, why is it so cold? Did it get significantly colder?
It did just get cold, I know.
Fuck?
bro,
Why,
what?
is
How
your
is
shrimp
bro,
shaking?
My shrimp is...
Bro,
I got
who
a
is
shrimp
rating
right now.
these? Like, how come shit like this
Is it
isn't
going smaller?
cosigned, bro?
Descending.
How do pro players not have an input on this? Am I high?
So this was something that until Shotzzy mentioned it, I'd actually kind of forgotten about. That for the last couple of years, we were doing these bounty matches. And they always used to do this type of stuff in Columbus, right? Where, you know, they're chucking the money up in the air. And, I mean, it was an absolute joke, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know why they thought this was a good idea. But nonetheless, it was 10 grand extra they'd be throwing in to the games. This was one example here, $10,000 per match. You know, here are the Florida Mutineers back in the day, the London Royal Ravens when they still existed. But yeah, major forum. I'm guessing this is from last year, probably looking at this this situation. But yeah, win these games, $10,000 per match. Win the match, win the cash. They used to do this, right? Now, there was a lot of talk at the time. Could we not use this money for better use, right? Surely it could go elsewhere. Does anyone really care about... Sure, the players care, obviously, and that's why Shotzzy saying down, like, you know, where's my bounty matches? For the fans, did anyone tune into these games more because there was an extra 10k on the line? Maybe they got, like, 200 more viewers, right? Like, I don't think it was really moving the needle. If it's Florida versus Surge, it's trash either way. Respectfully, of course. But towards the end of the season, that was their plan, to put some more money on the line so people would tune in, maintain some of the interest in the scene towards the end of the season. But we always said, all right, how about you do this differently? Whereas maybe, you know, a viewer or something, if you're going to give away some money to the players, how about give it away to some fans? I don't know, split it in a certain way, have it so that players that, you know, people that watch the series or that vote in some sort of poll, they can potentially win the money. I don't know, like there's surely a better way to use this money to grow the scene rather than give it to the players. Or how about save up some of these several $100,000s they gave away to the players in these bounty games to instead actually put them towards another tournament or running something a little bit better or not firing loads of your staff, which is what's happened this season. So it's not been great. The other piece though that's changed this year, so no bounty games, that money is gone. It's quite evident this year, especially with the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the CDL is running on life support. Like the amount of money, basically the budget has been cut drastically. They don't have any money for anything. Their content, what they do on the CDL channel, has been going downhill every single year. They still do something, to their credit, but it ain't great. And they basically do the bare minimum on what they could be trying to achieve with this league. I think the feeling is in the CDL, just wait till next year, see what type of budgets they get, see what kind of format it looks like, because, yeah, we know that every year in some ways things have regressed. I think that remains true, and on the money side as well, that remains true. This was also a thing. Now, for the fans, you might not really care so much about this, but I do think it's interesting to note that a couple of years ago, even last year, we had 5 major events. We had Major 1 in Raleigh, 4 more, finishing out with Major 5 in Toronto in May, then the World Championship was not far after that. This year, of course, it's still in Toronto, it's Major 3, but there's only 4 majors. There's no Pro-Am, as there was back in Vanguard. There's no kickoff tournament either, right? So, the league has regressed, and of course, in place of that, as everyone really loves, we get more weekends of online qualifiers. But this was Major 1 this season, $375,000 prize pool. The winner got 150, second place 90, third place 60, and then down from there. But last year, this was Major 2, for example, this was the prize pool. So I think this kind of went somewhat under the radar, because I think from the fans' point of view, if the winners get 150k or 200k, does anyone really care? The players care, obviously. I know they have to pay taxes on this, but it's still not a bad payday, is it? This was Major 2 that FaZe won last year. In Boston, $500,000 prize pool, 200k for the winner, 120, then 80, and then it went 40, 20, 10. Whereas this year, it's 150, 90, 60, 30, 15, 7.5. So they've dropped the prize pool down by $125,000 of each of these major tournaments. Now, I do think that challenges, they've upped it. I think like each of the elite stages is worth like $75,000. So there is still some money that they're throwing around, but I can understand Dashy's point of view. They're like, yeah, they kind of silently dropped the prize pool. They're giving us fewer majors, so one less opportunity to make money like this. They're giving us no bounty games, and the actual prize pool has been reduced by 25%, which is not great. And also last year's World Championship, I think the total prize pool was something like $2.4 million. This year, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't think it's been officially announced yet. So, we shall see on that one. The other thing that OpTic were understandably frustrated about was the changes to 6-star. I do find these pros very funny though, isn't it? Because when this map first came out, all the complaints were, before the map had even been played, that, the water hill, it's going to be terrible, it's going to be an awful hardpoint, we can't possibly do that. And Sledgehammer themselves, the developers, apparently were aware that, yeah, we might have to change this map because the pros are going to complain, but we'll throw it in there anyway and see what they think. The pros complained massively about the water hill. They play it for a couple of weeks and they think, actually, you know what, this ain't too bad. So it's maybe frustrating that if the game stayed as it was, I don't think the water hill was that bad. It was kind of cheesy, absolutely, and it was a bit of a mess. But the pros didn't absolutely hate it, and even as OpTic are saying, maybe OpTic are biased because they've got Shotzzy, right, who's in the water and is doing rather well. He likes that hardpoint, obviously, and maybe it's no surprise that OpTic want it changed. But I feel like there was a perception, actually, that the water hill maybe wasn't as bad as people thought that it might be. Even though, as everyone and their mother has said over the last couple of weeks, probably just draining the water somewhat would have made that hardpoint better, but that's not what happened. The developers, though, decided, all right, you know what, we're going to change that hardpoint, and we're going to change, like, everything else as well. And this was Dashy point. It's like, why are we doing this? And also, this point over here where the bomb site is on this statue makes a lot of sense for a hardpoint. It obviously would be a difficult one to hold because of all the cuts and the angles, but that's begging to be a hardpoint location, isn't it? I mean, look at it. It looks so perfect. But apparently not, and they've put them elsewhere. So it's just these decisions that make the players confused and make Dashy think, like, are these guys off the Zaza? Do we need to get these guys straight out of California, right? And maybe that's a fair analysis. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Drazah, not an especially happy man about the state of the situation in the league. The fact that even as Dashy and co were talking about on that very podcast slightly earlier on about players not playing the game, not being committed. We talked about that in yesterday's video as well. But very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.